Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tonight from Comerica Park in downtown Detroit, the Tigers' Miguel Cabrera, who is in the Triple Crown hunt and the MVP race, takes on last year's AL MVP Joe Mauer and the Minnesota Twins. It's the first of a big three-game series between the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for Game 1 and what should be a very entertaining series here as we head up to the All-Star break, Rod. You've got two teams that have really turned into pretty good rivals now. You also have two aces going at it tonight in Verlander and Liriano.
You know, when you start talking about Francisco Liriano, you're talking about a guy that had the Tommy John surgery just a couple of years ago after the 06 season. He's finally gotten healthy again. This guy, stuff-wise, one of the best left-handers in the game. Fastball in the mid-90s, outstanding slider, and a very good changeup. And he's also had the Tigers' number throughout his career. When you start talking about Justin Verlander, you're talking about a guy with 10 wins. He's on pace to win 20, but he was left off the All-Star team this year, and I think Verlander quietly will take that on these Minnesota Twins hitters today, but they have had Verlander's numbers. 5 and 7 is Verlander with an earned run average over 4 in his career against Minnesota Twins hitters.
All right, good pitching tonight, but plenty of big bats as well. Last year, it was Joe Mauer winning the MVP. Perhaps this year, it's Miguel Cabrera winning the MVP. This is going to be a dynamite series offensively, you would expect as well.
Well, since Cabrera put on the Tigers uniform before the 08 season, there's been no hitter. I mean, no hitter better than him in the American League. It speaks for itself. He's in the Triple Crown conversation as we speak. And it's been a long, long time, partner, since I have seen a hitter that's hitting 300 that we say is having a off year. But that's the case with Joe Mauer these days.
It is indeed, and there are some other storylines, obviously, as well. Brendan Bosch has had a terrific rookie campaign. Denard Span, the Tigers can't seem to get him out, so it should be a great series here. A three-game set featuring the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. That's a story from here at Comerica Park. Now we go back to the Call Sam Studios, and with more in our coverage, here's Mickey York. For this series, the Twins and Tigers Game 1 in a big three-game series leading up to the All-Star break. And if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Here's the starting lineup for the Minnesota Twins. It is presented by Honda Bluefield. Denard Span leads it off in center field. Orlando Hudson at second base. Joe Mauer will catch, followed by Jim Thome, the DH. Jason Kubel is in right. Michael Kadire at first. Delman Young in left. J.J. Hardy back from a wrist injury as the shortstop Nick Punto is batting ninth and playing third base. The scouting report on Justin Verlander is presented tonight by Ace Hardware.
Well, tonight is Elvis night, so a lot of our pitching profile is going to be some of Elvis's songs, and don't get all shook up, and that would be Verlander not making the All-Star team. And I haven't heard one peep out of Verlander as far as that's concerned. How about surrender? 40 wins here for Verlander, most in the American League since 06. And don't be cruel. The opponents hitting .313 against JV in the very first time through, so he needs to do a little bit better in that regard. Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. It's always presented by Beaumont Hospitals. You've got Rayburn in left. Jackson is in center. The stud, Brennan Bosch in right. Inge, Worth, Ian, Cabrera, that's the infield. Gerald Laird getting the nod behind the dish, as he does most nights against left-handed pitchers.
Well, speaking of studs, how about these numbers for Verlander?
Well, he comes in with a .385 earned run average, 110 innings. He's got 103 strikeouts. The league is hitting .223 against him, and it's a shame. And this is the last time I'm going to say it. It's a shame he's not going to the All-Star game this year.
Well, he will make his final start here prior to the All-Star game, taking on the Minnesota Twins. And coming into play tonight, the Tigers a half game up on Chicago. Minnesota 2 games back. And here comes Denard Span, who this year against the Tigers batting a sizzling .371. Verlander's first pitch of the ball game is a strike called in the outside corner, and we are underway tonight.
Span comes in, with huge splits, hitting .375 at home, 200 on the road. The Tigers are hoping that Denard Span shows up here, not the Denard Span that has basically owned them since 2008.
83 degrees our game time temperature on a gorgeous night for baseball here in the Motor City. 1 ball and 1 strike on Denard Span. Hudson and then Mauer to follow. A little bit outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Verlander, 5-7 career against the Twins with an ERA of a little bit over 4. Here's the 2-1 offering. A little looper into left. That's going to drop in a base hit. Span just gets it done any way he can against Detroit pitching.
Since he has come to the big leagues in 08, more hits, more triples, just about every category. Denard Span has been better against Detroit than any team he's played against. And these are updated numbers.
Hits, 65 hits.
Triples. He has 8 triples. No one else has more than 3.
Pretty good. And he's aboard now. He has 16 stolen bases in 17 tries this year. Orlando Hudson, the batter. Hudson batting .273.
Gerald Laird, since the beginning of 2006, has been one of the best throwing catchers in the American League. Only one has been better percentage-wise. But Verlander must give him a chance to throw if Span is in a running mood here tonight.
Let me see the percentage for Span. He's been caught just once. Hudson waiting on the first offering from Verlander. And here it comes. Ball 1.
We told you in our pitching profile, for whatever reason, Verlander, first time through the batting order, he yields a .313 batting average. After that, just 200. Verlander, like many stud pitchers, many top of the rotation guys, if you don't get them early, you usually do not get them at all. That was almost a balk. You better be careful. Verlander with those lightning quick feet, and apparently he's going to pay attention to the running game today. Verlander has yielded quite a few stolen bases this year, even though he has a quick move. And the reason for that is when he decides to go home, he usually picks that left foot up, and base runners have been able to read that.
That one is right on the bag, and there's the difference. Out at first base is Denard Span.
Boy, oh boy, is he quick.
That throw was right on the money. The previous pickoff throw was a little bit high, which would have made it a lot closer, but that one was right on the bag. Nicely done. So span is erased. And from the windup, a strike called on Orlando Hudson.
You talked about Verlander's numbers coming in against Minnesota in his career, 5-7, but the 4 earned run average is really not that bad. Not for an American League pitcher. It just goes to show you how pesky Minnesota has been against Detroit.
One and two on Hudson. Just underway, a single by Span. He was picked off by Verlander. First pickoff of the year for Justin. And the 1-2 pitch. He just missed. They want the appeal. And we'll see that he held up. Bill Miller down at third.
Tough for Bill Miller to see, just like it is for the left fielders. And he's in the sun, which presents problems for him and shortstop and the outfielders. Take a look at him.
Here's the 2-2 offering. Swing and a miss, and Hudson goes down. Verlander has his first strikeout.
Verlander knows that he can't yield a lot of runs here today against Minnesota. Not with Liriano on the mound. Liriano is one of the better left-handed pitchers in all of baseball. And even though Liriano's not hitting, and Verlander knows he needs to be stingy here today against Minnesota.
Joe Mauer now with the bases empty. Mauer is at 297. He will be the starting catcher for the American League in the All-Star game. In fact, he received the most votes of any American League player.
Most teams nowadays are taking their shortstop and playing him right where Danny Worth is playing here tonight against Mauer. And that's exactly where he hits a lot of balls when he's going very well. So they've taken away that hit from him, and a lot of teams are throwing him slow breaking balls late in counts to get into rollover balls to the right side of the infield. That's how you have to pitch to Mauer. When he's hitting the ball up the middle and the opposite way into the outfield, that's when he does most of his damage.
Mauer is a career .327 hitter. Last year batted .365, but this season, as we head to the All-Star break, he's at .297.
This time last year he was hitting about .390, and we were asking each other whether he had a chance to hit .400 or not.
Power numbers down as well this year. Wave and a miss, and Verlander has another strikeout. His second in the ball game. That's all for Minnesota. Here we go to the bottom of the first. Jackson leads it off in center field, followed by Ryan Rayburn in left tonight. Maglio will be the DH, and then it's Cabrera at first, Brendan Bosch He's in right field. Carlos Guillen opening up at second base. Your bottom three tonight features Inge, Gerald Laird, and Danny Wirth. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report. On Francisco Liriano, get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, continuing with that Elvis theme, are you lonely tonight? He has pitched well in his last 6 starts, but really not a whole lot to show for it. And you talk about the devil in disguise. He has been tremendous against the Tigers in his career, 4-2 in 9 starts. And we talked about the heartbreak. He is not getting a lot of runs, 0-3. Last 4, earned run average for him approaching 5.
Austin Jackson leads it off, and the last time the Tigers faced Liriano, they jumped on him for 4 runs back on the 28th in Minnesota. That was in the very first inning.
Yeah, Jackson led off the game with a base on balls, and then Liriano proceeded to give up 5 straight hits.
1-1 to Jackson. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Jackson having an outstanding rookie season. He comes in with an 11-game hitting streak. But he has struggled this year against left-handed pitching.
3-1 now on Austin. Liriano goes 6-2, 215. And the San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic. Jackson takes. There's ball 4. Leadoff man on for Detroit.
Let's take a look at Ron Gardenhire's defensive squad here tonight. Young, Span, Kubel in the outfield. 33 errors. Tied for fewest in the American League. That's one of the reasons why they're always in the hunt. They catch the baseball very, very well.
So here's Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn batting in the 2 slot, playing in left tonight. He has made 11 starts now at left field. Jim Leland has used him in a few different spots on the field. Waves and misses 0-1.
Good fastball. Mid-90s fastball. Rayburn with only 2 home runs so far this year, and I was talking to him today, and he says he hits the balls hard. As a matter of fact, he's hit about 6 balls that have went off the gate. Almost home runs, but doesn't have that same carry that he had last year when he set career highs in home runs. And home runs is something that you really just can't try to do. Just keep taking your swings and have good at-bats, and for the most part, Rayburn has done that.
16 long balls last year, 45 RBIs for Rayburn, who also nearly hit 300. He was in the 290 range. Liriano's 0-1. Good jump for Jackson. Throw down from Mauer, not in time. Stolen base.
What a great jump by Austin Jackson. As soon as Liriano picked his right foot up, Jackson was on the move, and he had about 6-7 steps underneath him before the catcher, Joe Mauer, even got the ball into his glove, and it looked like that ball hit him right off the ear flap on the helmet. Thankfully, boom, right there. Exmo really show it to you.
RBI chance for Rayburn. Tigers try and jump out early in this one. Hit it the other way. That'll move the runner up.
Outstanding job by Ryan Rayburn.
He's going to break up Ordonez with a chance to drive one in now. Maglio with 52 RBIs headed to the break. With 3 more games to go, Maglio having himself a terrific first half. In fact, a .308 batting average.
And he's always done a lot of damage against the Twinkies, which started when Maglio was wearing the Chicago White Sox uniform and has continued in a Tigers uniform. And Ron Gardenhire playing his infield in here in the very first inning, not giving anything to the Tigers.
established, in fact, just about this time last year. Liriano's 1-0. Is fouled back out of play. Triple Crown watch. Now, how about the home run category? With 21, he has dropped to third in the American League.
I think that guy Bautista hit one last night against these Minnesota Twins. Toronto Blue Jays had 5 solo home runs against Twins pitching last night.
Josh Hamilton now has 22, so he has the second most behind Bautista, then Cabrera.
No disrespect to either player. They're having outstanding seasons, and they should be going to the All-Star game, but they don't play in of which have missed the strike zone.
Liriano in his last start was absolutely dealing against Tampa. Struck out 10 in 7 innings, but his bullpen allowed a 7-run 8th. And he received a no decision, so that's some tough luck there for Liriano after giving up just 1 run in 7 frames and fanning 10. Behind 3-1. And it's lined to right field. That's down, a base hit. Ordonez headed to third base. He is in there standing up, and Miguel Cabrera now has a 17-game hitting streak.
Cabrera is one of those hitters that just kind of takes what you give him. And he kind of knows what's going on. He knows how Liriano's pitching. And take a look at the location of this pitch. This ball is down, and it's off the plate outside. The count is 3-1. Most guys are looking to hit the ball into the seats in that situation, but not Cabrera. He just kind of took what Liriano was giving him. And that's how he's hitting .350 this year.
So Cabrera now against Liriano career. He's getting better and better. 400. 6-4, 15.
He hits some of the best pitchers in baseball. That would be aces and closers. He picks on them all.
This guy's been picking on them all as well. Brendan Bosch, who comes in at 341.
You've got to score this run. You know Liriano's going to settle in. He's just that good. But while you've got him on the ropes here, running around third, less than 2 outs, you've got to get the job done.
Bosch 47 RBIs. Verlander has an early lead to work with. It's just a matter of how many. Down the left field line, foul.
Left-handers, they really haven't bothered Brendan Bosch all that much this year. He comes in with a .448 batting average. You see the slugging percentage is over 800. He also has 3 triples. But that is the best for any left-handed hitter against left-handed pitching in the American League. What a stud.
Ground ball, base hit right field. Ordonez comes around to score. Cabrera going to third, and he is in there standing up. Brendan Bosch comes through again, and that'll be his 48th RBI of the year.
Right on cue, the Tigers ambushed Liriano a couple of starts ago in Minnesota for 4 runs in the very first inning, and they're on the verge of ambushing him once again here in the very first inning. It's amazing what Brendan Bosch is doing against left-handers, and it's not your number 3, your number 4 starters as far as left-handers. Some of the best in baseball Brendan Bosch has been able to get to.
So Liriano now has given up 2 runs on 3 hits. Bosch makes it a 2-0 game. Here comes Carlos Guillen. And the Tigers still in good shape to get some more here. Only 1 out. Carlos has hit safely in his last 4. Has had 7 hits on this homestand. A homestand that the Tigers have done very well in. Now another meeting on the mound as Mauer goes out. Punto comes in. Tigers took 2 out of 3 from Seattle. They swept Baltimore. And with Ron Gardner's team in town, the Tigers off to a nice start here tonight. The 0-1. He would try to hold up, couldn't do it. No balls and 2 strikes.
Back-to-back sliders to Carlos, and if you're the base runners here, Cabrera and also Bosch, you have to have an idea that Liriano might throw that same pitch, and if Mauer's not able to pick it, and Cabby's got to be thinking about scoring, and of course Bosch has got to get in scoring position. That's if he bounces this slider.
Oh, and 2 on Guillen. Swing and a miss. So Carlos goes down on strikes. That'll be the first of the evening for Liriano. 2 gone.
He's not out of the woods yet. Brandon Inge has perked up quite a bit last 6 weeks.
500 on the homestand, which also coincides with the month of July, so he's off to a great start here this month, and because of that, his average overall has gone to 272. Big 2-out chance here.
I remember talking to Brandon in spring training, and he said, you know what, I'm going to start the season, but I'm going to be a little gimpy. I'm not going to be healthy until probably about June. And it was about May 29th when his average went from 215 to where it sits right now. So he knew exactly how his body was going to cooperate with him this year going into the 2010 season.
And according to Jim Leyland, he has been grinding out at bats as good as anybody on this Tigers team, and he has had some really good at bats, especially after getting down to the count 0-2. His RBI total now stands at 39. Liriano trying to dig out of a mess here. The 1-1 pitch. 1-2 on Brandon. Inge is also moving in on a milestone. He is 20 hits shy of 1,000 in his career. Johnny Damon recently got to 2,500. Maglio earlier this year got to 2,000. One and two. And it's grounded foul, third base side. Last July, Brandon had 14 hits in 23 games. Well, here already in the month of July this year, 12 hits in just 6 games. So his July has already been so much different than it was last year. The 1-2. Bouncing ball slowly toward third. Punto on the charge. And that is that for Detroit. But they send 7 men to the plate, score twice, and we'll go to the second. And by Comcast, call 1-800-COMCAST for TV, phone, and internet. What a gorgeous night here at the ballpark. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Get every MLB game in HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV. And the blimp on hand tonight, providing you with these outstanding pictures of Comerica Park and the surrounding areas here in Detroit. Jim Thome leads it off for Minnesota. Justin Verlander with a 2-0 lead early on in this one.
We got Thome hot last week when the Tigers were in Minnesota. Before they came home, he was player of the week in the American League.
Thome has given them 10 home runs already this year. Limited playing time, although he's playing a lot more now.
Here, Ron Gardenhire kind of figured out, you know what? This guy's got a lot of home runs underneath his belt. I'll stick Kubel in right field, and we'll give Thome all the at-bats as a DH.
2-1 on Thome, who recently hit homers 573 and 4, which put him ahead of the great Harmon Killebrew. 10th all-time on the list.
Thome has done a lot of damage against a lot of pitchers. And Verlander, no different. He's got 10 hits against JV, 7 of which have left the building, which means he needs to proceed with caution right here.
Now, when you say left the building on Elvis night, that's a really good time.
Yeah, I did tie that in. I thought about that afterwards. Thanks for the props. I appreciate that.
You got it. 3-2 on Thome. Yeah, there we go. It is Elvis night here at the ballpark, and a lot of folks getting in the spirit. There's a ball outside, and Thome is aboard.
He didn't really mind doing that to him. We've already told you that Thome, he has really picked on Verlander this year, and Verlander's smart here tonight. He's not going to mess with Thome. That and the fact that this Minnesota Twins team, they have grounded into a whopping 99 double plays. 99 of them they've hit into as a team this year, which is by far more than any other American League club.
Here is Kubel. And he takes a strike call. Kubel himself has knocked into 8 this year. Kadyr's knocked into 14 double plays, and so has Mauer.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a lot at this point in the year. 0-1 on Kubel.
Here's top 5 in baseball. Giants have hit into 89. 83 for the Orioles, who have just left here.
0-2 the count on Kubel. Checked it. Appeal. He did not go.
Verlander mixing in all his pitches very early in this game. Not overthrowing it. Fastballs anywhere from 92 to 95. He's got an outstanding breaking ball that he's already thrown quite a few of here today. Almost got strike 3 there on Kubel.
Kubel in the just completed series against Toronto was just 2 for 11. And he waves and misses. Down he goes as Verlander records his 3rd strikeout already tonight.
Verlander's on a mission here tonight, in my opinion.
The first baseman, number 5, Michael Kadire.
Justin coming off a 10 strikeout performance against Seattle. He's on his way to another double-digit strikeout game. Here's Michael Kadire. Thome, not a really big threat to go anywhere. Is not being held at first base.
He did hit a triple against us, though, a couple of weeks ago.
That's in the air, right field. Bosch cruising over. 2 gone.
No, I agree. He's not going anywhere.
That was like the first triple for Thome in ever.
Yep.
Now Delman Young, who's had himself quite a first half. In fact, such a big first half that many thought he should have been in the All-Star team, and he was on that final vote but fell a little bit short.
It was going to be tough for anybody other than Swisher to win that vote, especially with the way that the Yankee fans vote. You know what I was thinking about, though, last night? I was thinking about the fact that Yankees have more players going to the All-Star game this year than the entire American League century.
Is that right?
They do. Well, we got 2. Minnesota's got 2. Everybody else has got 1.
That's fouled back out of play.
Thornton's the only one going from the White Sox. Correct me if I'm wrong. Soria is the only one going from Kansas City.
Right.
And Cleveland's got Francisco, Carmona, Fausto. So the Yankees have more players going to the All-Star game than the entire American League Central.
There's something wrong with that.
Well, Boston does too. It's 2 teams.
Something wrong with that too. Here's the 1-1. Young tried to hold up, and he could not do it. 1-2 on Delman. He has an 8-game hitting streak going right now. Tigers lead 2-0. We're in the second. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. How about 4 early strikeouts for Verlander? Twins get a walk, leave a man. We go to the bottom of the second.
Spectacular night in this summer's biggest event. Tune in when Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2010 MLB All-Star Game from Anaheim, Tuesday at 8 p.m. on your local Fox station.
Right around the corner from the Big A in Anaheim.
Kind of looking forward to getting a little break, getting 4 days off in between. A little trip over to Cleveland after the break. It'll be nice.
And then come right back home.
Yeah, recharge your batteries.
Gerald Laird leading things off here in the second. Speaking of the All-Star game, we were talking about Swisher winning the final vote of the American League. Joey Votto won the National League final vote. Thank goodness for that, because he was leading the National League in home runs.
He's having a good year.
It would have been a shame to see him not in that game. The 1-1.
First base always presents problems. You've got so many big, strong, physical guys that are having great years. I know Howard made the All-Star team from Philly. Pujols always goes to the All-Star game as well. So it just presents problems for first baseman, and it's no different in this league.
Here's the 1-2. I saw a quote from Charlie Manuel today, as a matter of fact, when he was asked, why did you pick Ryan Howard over Joey Votto? And he said, because he's my guy.
Absolutely.
He's on my team. And we got to the World Series, and so, well, that's one of the perks.
All managers do that.
1-2 on Laird. Laird, then Worth, and then Jackson facing Liriano. That one just missed.
Liriano throwing lots of breaking balls here himself through the first inning at least, and he's not gotten an out, but he's thrown quite a few sliders to these Tigers right-handed hitters.
There's another one, and again it just missed.
For that very pitch, Jim Leyland only has one left-hander in his lineup today, and that would be Bosch. But we've told you that left-handers don't bother him, but the other left-handers, Liriano absolutely owns to the tune of a 179 batting average.
3-2 pitch. He lost it. Leadoff walk, second straight inning the leadoff walk. Of course, Danny Worth, who a couple of nights ago hit his first major league home run.
Brandon Inge bought him a bottle of champagne, too. An expensive bottle of champagne, which Inge always does to the rookies whenever they hit their first home run. I asked Danny today, I said, did you pop the cork on that champagne? He said, nope. I'm going to save it for the All-Star break.
Nice.
I wonder if Jim thinking about bunting here early. You know Liriano's not going to give you a whole lot of runs. You've got your number 9 hitter up. Jackson in the on-deck circle in the 11-game hitting streak. We'll see.
One sacrifice this year for Worth.
That's why the throw over. Ron Gardenhire wanted to see whether Worth would tip or not, whether he's sacrificing or not. Because Gerald doesn't steal many bases.
How often do you really guys see tip, though?
Some guys do. Some guys do it on purpose, though. Some guys, when they see the guy throw over, they just pull it up, pull the bat up, and whether they're bunting or not. But that's the reason for the throw over. Gene Lamont, who does a very nice job down at third base as the traffic cop for the Tigers. He's been here since Jim Leyland took over in 2006.
Three straight throws to first base for Liriano. Francisco's come a long way back. Tommy John surgery. Missed all of 2007 with that surgery. Worth showing bunt, buckles out of the way and takes strike one.
If you're still bunting, you've got to go down toward first base. Kadyr's the first baseman. He's got a responsibility of holding Laird on. You want to keep the ball away from the third baseman. You want to keep the ball away from Pujo. He's an athletic player, and he could very easily get that force out at second if it's a bad bunt down in his area.
Lays that one down. Liriano will field it. And he beat it out. Danny Worth can run. And sooner or later, that word will get around the league.
You don't see Minnesota make that many mistakes. They've made a few in some of the games they played against the Tigers. Worth gets the ball down, but in a very nonchalant way. Liriano comes in and fires a strike, but not in enough time to get Danny Worth. Outstanding hustle by Danny Worth.
Danny running hard, beat that one out. So the Tigers have two aboard.
Well, they just had a meeting on the mound, all 5 of the infielders, catcher included, with Liriano. And they're probably talking about a bunt, but I don't know if they'll bunt Jackson.
It just doesn't feel like this is one of those situations where Leland would have him bunt.
Well, they tried to give away one out. I don't know if he'll give him another one. Well, maybe so.
And he bunts it. This time Maurer will take it.
That gives you an idea of what kind of game Jim thinks we're going to play here today, especially against this Minnesota Twins team. 2 sacrifice bunts here early in the second inning.
And that was the first of the season for Jackson.
He did it to perfection. I don't know if that's a combination. Well, it's probably a combination of wanting to get that other guy to third base with less than 2 outs, and also Jackson has not done all that well this year against left-handed pitching from a batting average standpoint.
So here's Rayburn with 1 out. Tigers lead 2-0. We're in the second. Ryan bounced out his first time up, but it was a good at bat in that it advanced the runner to third base. All 1 inside.
In the first inning, the Tigers had a runner on third with less than 2 outs, and Maglio was in the batter's box, and Ron Gardenhire had his
defenders all relaxed. It's sort of the same situation here in the second inning, but excuse me, the infield was in when Maglia was up, but now they're relaxed here in the second inning.
Swing and a miss. Well, it would stand to reason that if we pull him in the first inning, he probably would do the same here in the second with Verlander on the mound.
Yeah, I would think that, but he's got him relaxed now. This is where, as a hitter, boy, you really just kind of concentrate on taking a ground ball to second base or shortstop. That will score Gerald Laird. Don't try to get too greedy.
Well, you've got Ordonez, then Cabrera. Rayburn this year with 16 RBIs. The 2-1. Make it 2-2 on Ryan Rayburn. Liriano first pitched against the Tigers this year back on the 27th here in Detroit. Struck out 10 in that game.
He was dealing that night.
And he left the game leading at 2-0. Minnesota won that contest. 8 shutout innings for Liriano in that one. Different story, though, here tonight. And the 2-2. Ouch.
Here's that matchup. Verlander also towed the rubber that night in April against Liriano, and both pitchers were on top of their games. Nice fading changeup by Liriano. Good slide piece. Looked like he's throwing a curveball there, too. Uh-oh.
The big error by Ryan Rayburn. Scored the runs, which turned out to be the difference. Verlander struck out 7 in that game. And that one hit him.
That hurt, too, boy.
Well, you can hear the pop all the way up here. Rayburn is nailed, and that's going to load the bases.
That hurt. Liriano usually throws that slider to the back foot of the right-handed hitters. That one hit Rayburn on the front foot.
It's about as animated as we have seen Ron Gardenhire.
He has not been happy, really, with the way that his club has been playing. And he has said as much. He also went on to say that because they have struggled so mightily the last couple of weeks, that this series, he said, we'll see what our team is made out of.
Here is Ordonez with the bases loaded. Strike one on Maglio. Singled in run back in the first. One of the 2 Tigers runs coming in off his bat. 7 career grand slams. The 0-1. Bouncing ball back up the middle and into center field out of the reach of Hudson. 2 runs will score. Throw comes to third, not in time. And Ordonez does it again. A 2-run single. 4-0 Tigers. Just out of the reach of Orlando Hudson.
Outstanding effort by Hudson. It looks like a changeup that's down and away from Maglio, whistled right back up the middle on the hop, and a nice dive by Hudson, but the ball gets past him, and Danny Worth, with his speed, able to score rather easily.
DirecTV blimp with a look from above. Tigers out to a 4-0 lead once again here against Liriano. Maglio now with 55 RBIs, 3 in this game, and Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, trying to settle down Liriano. Well, fans, here's a reminder to enjoy 15 days of summer at Comerica Park with a new ticket package that lets you pick the games that you want to attend. All purchasers receive great season ticket holder benefits, including postseason priority. Call 313-471-BALL or visit Tigers.com. Action already in their bullpen. Alex Burnett beginning to throw. Justin Verlander has a 4-0 lead now. And here is Cabrera with still only 1 out.
Minnesota Twins bullpen not in the best of shape. Yeah, they were beat up pretty good in that series in Toronto. Toronto hit lots of home runs, and they stressed out this Twins bullpen.
0-1 on Cabrera.
And it looks like the Tigers are going to get in that bullpen early today.
Conversely, the Tigers bullpen very deep now with the addition of Weinhardt. They had the day off yesterday.
They're in good shape.
And it's been a Tigers bullpen that has been very good at 3.30 ERA. High fly ball. Right field. Long run for Kubel. Still coming over, and he makes the grab. Nice play. Runner tags at third. And scoring standing up, Rayburn. Cabrera gets an RBI. Make it a 5-0 Tigers lead.
Kubel had to run a mile to get to this ball. And the fan wearing a British Bosch jersey.
It's lucky he caught it instead of that fan with the pink glove, because if you lose out to a pink glove, that's not good.
How about the distraction there by the fan, though?
Get out of the way. The guy swipes back. 5-0 Tigers. Here's Bosch. Ooh, look out. Is he hit? Yes, he is. Bosch is drilled on the hand. And that is the second Tiger hit in this inning. The crowd getting restless. Not what Ron Gardenhire and Rick Anderson were hoping here early in this one. So Bosch on for the second time. Liriano now has hit 6 batters this year. Gardenhire is fuming. Here's Carlos Guillen, the 8th man to bat in the inning. Five runs, 5 hits for the Tigers. There's a strike called, 1-1. The Tigers just continuing what they have done at home all season long. They are 30-12 here at Comerica Park. You turn this into a very good home field advantage. Driven toward left center field, and the move is Young. Won't get it. It'll roll by him to the wall. Maglio scores. Here comes Bosch. He'll score. Guillen tries for 3. He's in with a triple.
That should end Liriano's night. How about these Tigers? Carlos struck out his first time up with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, but he gets a changeup that stays up, and he hits it to left center field that Young can't run down, and then the merry-go-round starts.
Carlos Guillen safe at third base, safe and secure. New York light. Liriano came in with an ERA a little over 3, and the Tigers post 7 on him and chase him from the game. It is a wall-side windows pitching change. Liriano is done, and we'll be back. Well, it's not here at the ballpark tonight. And as Liriano was walking off the field, they're playing return to sender, which fit very nicely. Liriano bounced out of this one. His shortest outing of the year, as the Tigers put up 7 big ones against him.
When they saw him a couple of weeks ago, they dropped a 6th spot on him, and that was the most runs he had given up to any team this year. And then they dropped a 7th spot on him here tonight. So in the last couple of starts, they've seen Liriano 13 runs scored against him.
Alex Burnett takes over out of their bullpen. He will face the 9th man to bat in this inning. That's Brandon Inge. Swing and a miss. Brandon bounced out his first time, 0 for 1. Liriano's shortest outing ever was 2/3 of an inning back in 2008, but he is unable to get through the second here tonight. The 0-1. Alex Burnett, born in Anaheim, California, 12th round pick in 05. And so that bullpen, which was taxed in Toronto, is going to be taxed again here tonight. And he missed 1-2. We did not expect Liriano to be out of this game in the second. The Tigers' offense here at home has been something special.
Apparently they made some adjustments against Liriano. You usually don't beat up on guys like Liriano like the Tigers have in the last 2 starts, last 2 meetings. So whatever the game plan is given to them by Lloyd McClendon, it has been a good one.
Lloyd happy with 7 runs on 6 hits already tonight. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Inge chases and Sad retired. 9 men of the plate, a 5 spot. Liriano out of the game, and it's 7-0. By AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By the way, fans, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game tonight using your cell phone. Text Tigers followed by a space and then the player's uniform number to 37338. That's FSDET. See the final results post game during Tigers Live. You know the drill by now. And vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game. Got a bunch of choices already in this one. You might even want to vote Liriano as the Tigers player of the game tonight. He has given up 7 runs and is now out of the game. J.J. Hardy leads it off. Verlander facing Hardy, Punto, and then Span as we go to the 3rd. Strike called on J.J. Hardy back from a wrist injury, was on the DL in the month of May. Tried to hold his swing, but he went, says Mike Riley, and the count very quickly 0-2. Verlander struck out 2 in the first and 2 more in the second. Here's the 0-2. Hardy last year was sent down to AAA. He was having such a tough season. Hit only .229 in 115 games over in the National League. Down he goes on strikes. Laird will throw down to complete it and make it 5 strikeouts for Verlander. He's going to bring up Nick Punto. Punto at .249, which is not bad for Nick considering the defense that he will bring to your ball club. Shows bunt. 0-1 on Punto, who came in this year as a lifetime .248 hitter, hit .228 last year for Minnesota. And he knocks one down foul via the bunt. 0-2. Tigers have 7 runs, 6 hits. Twins have no runs, 1 hit. Here's the 0-2. Roll to first base right at Miguel Cabrera.
Verlander already with 5 strikeouts in this game, but let's take a look at his motion and where he releases the ball. That's a fastball there, and the next pitch is a changeup. He's coming from the same arm slot, same arm speed. The next one's going to be a curve. He's thrown some outstanding sliders today. The last one's a slider here. So he's got all of them working today. The fastball, he's got the changeup, he's got the curveball, and the slider. And all above average major league pitches.
Well, you combine all that with a 7-0 lead, and you think you're in pretty good shape.
But see, he's a veteran pitcher, too. He knows how to pitch with a big lead. That's one of the things that we talk about on occasion, right through the wickets of Bill Miller, is that young pitchers, when they have this kind of lead early, they just go and start throwing all fastballs, and they allow the opposing team to get back into the game. Verlander continuing to pitch and use all of his pitches.
Justin gave up a single to Denard Span to start the game, and then he picked him off. His first pickoff of the year. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Off the inside corner at 96 on the gun, 2-1. Span signed a 5-year extension this offseason, option for a 6th year for Minnesota. The 2-1. Popped him up. Shallow left. And it'll be Rayburn amongst the trio to make the play. 1-2-3 inning for Verlander. Elvis impersonators all over the place. In fact, even our good friend Paz is dressed like Elvis tonight. Here come the Tigers now in the third. It'll be Gerald Laird leading it off. I knew they'd find him. There he is.
Paz always gets into the festivities.
I love that jacket, too. Nice shades.
We can work on getting you one of those.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd wear it.
You wear that?
No. There's a line drive into right field. Hit pretty well. Kubel goes back, and he makes the catch right in front of the wall. Time for game break. Let's go back to the studio now, and here's Mickey York. Wow, that is a serious blowout there. 7-0 here on a gorgeous night and a big crowd here at the ballpark. There's a line drive to right and a base hit right in front of Kubel.
See, that's what G Money needs to do. Gerald Laird, if he didn't have bad luck, he wouldn't have no luck at all.
That's true. He hits one to the wall the opposite way, and Laird is out, but Worth has a base hit.
Yep, a little duck snort by Worth. But it will look like a line drive in the box score tomorrow.
7 hits now for the Tigers. One of those nights from Ron Gardenhire. They lost 2 out of 3 in Toronto, and they come here to Detroit, and they smack Liriano around in the first 2 innings to the tune of 7 runs tonight against one of the best pitchers in the American League. Here's Jackson. Checked his swing. Strike 1 is called by Mike Riley. Austin, a sacrifice, a walk, a steal, and a run score. There's a slicing line drive and a leaping catch and a double play. What a play by Hudson. They double up Worth, and the Tigers are done in the third. Baseball award. 1956 on this date. They just showed Cabrera, just showed Mauer. Of course, Mauer won the MVP last year.
Oh, you didn't give it away, did you?
I don't know. Cabrera might win it this year.
It's a good hint, though.
You know how they like to do it, though.
Good path to go down.
They like to throw you off the beaten path, though. What a night here in the Motor City. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. It was 83 at game time. And the blimp providing some terrific shots tonight. Here come the Twins in the fourth. It's Orlando Hudson. They have not been able to do a whole lot against Verlander. Justin has given up 1 hit. He has walked 1 batter and has struck out 5. Hudson, a strikeout victim himself back in the first. Good pitch, but it just missed.
Had a feeling it would be a slow night for Minnesota Twins hitters. And Verlander has proved me right so far.
There's a base hit to right field. They are without Justin Morneau, their star first baseman, who suffered concussion-like symptoms when he was hit in the head trying to break up a double play. So they are without one of their big guns.
And I don't think he is available for this game here tonight.
That's the word.
Morneau is one of those guys that had a history of concussions when he was a youngster playing hockey in Canada. So the head is nothing to mess with. He's been having some headaches the last couple of days.
There's Joe Mauer.
Well, here's that injury to Morneau a couple of days ago. Double play ball. Is that John McDonald?
Sure is. Johnny Mac with the knee to the side of the forehead there of Morneau.
We hope he's okay. Enjoy watching him play. He is one of the best players in the American League and in the MVP conversation every single season. That's how good Justin Morneau is. As a matter of fact, he's starting the All-Star game next Tuesday.
He's a fabulous talent, and the Twins have said that if he's unable to go in this series, they may pull him out of that All-Star game. There's no reason to push it. We'll see if he's able to play at any point in this series.
Maybe that'll open the door for a guy like Billy Butler or somebody like that, another first baseman that's deserving in the American League.
Yeah, very well could. Mauer struck out in the first. There's a strike.
And of course, if Morneau didn't go, I'd be shocked if our guy Cabrera wasn't the starter in the All-Star game in Anaheim next Tuesday.
That's another good point. He would have to be, don't you think?
I do believe that. I do believe that.
Mauer has been banged up a lot this year as well, and he suffered a bruised heel a while back that many feel may still be bothering him a little bit, but he's taken a lot of foul tips behind the plate. And Mauer was asked the other day, how you feel, and he said, you know, I'm banged up. And it's that time of the year. We're halfway through the year. He wouldn't expound on his injuries, but those that watch him every day just feel that he certainly is not 100% or near it.
Well, you take a look at his numbers in his last 38 games. 253 on base percentage, in the low threes, and he's not driven in that many runs. I'm talking about a guy that has set the bar awfully high as far as offensive numbers are concerned. Awfully high.
Two and two on Mauer.
Pretty much all hard stuff. The fastballs in the mid to upper 90s, and that last pitch at 88. That's a slider that he's been located very well his last couple of starts. Might get a double play here, ball here, 4-6-3. He wasn't biting though.
3 and 2 on Mauer. Won his third batting title last year, the MVP as well, as Tomey lurks on deck. Even without Morneau in their lineup, Mauer, Tomey, Kubel, Kadire, they still line up pretty good with the table setters at the top. Runner going on 3-2. Big jump, and it's fouled back.
Down by 7. And most guys wouldn't start the runner, but Gardenhire knows that his ball club is already hitting the 99 double plays this year. And if they're going to put any pressure on Verlander whatsoever, he does not want Mauer to hit into his 15th double play this year.
Runner goes again, and he walked him. Single and a walk to start things off here in the 4th inning. Second walk of the game for Verlander. It's going to bring up Jim Thome. Thome also had a base on balls to lead things off in the second. .38 years of age. Thome will be 39 in the month of August. Marching toward what should be a spot in the Hall of Fame with the numbers he's put up. In fact, Jim's been around so long, he's been around for the opening of 3 separate parks. Progressive Field in Cleveland back in '94, and then Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia when they opened up that ballpark, and of course Target Field this year. 574 career home runs in his 20th season. Ball high, 1-1.
Jim has done a lot of damage in his career against Tigers pitching. Well, no one's been better.
The 1-1 is a ball down low. 2-1 on Thome. Yeah, among active players, nobody literally has been better than Jim Thome. "16 straight years of at least 20 home runs." He rips that one foul.
In the mid-90s, he was hitting in a batting order that had Albert Bell and Manny Ramirez. And those guys were hitting 40 home runs a year when he was playing in Cleveland.
Thome won't be going to the All-Star game this year, but he's played in 5 in his career. And that one just missed.
Seems like for a guy that has done that much damage from an offensive standpoint, he'd have played in more than 5.
Seems low, doesn't it?
It does. But it's tough to get to the All-Star game. Every single year, there are a lot of deserving players that just don't get there. Not enough spots. Just to be considered these days is an honor.
Got him. Strike 3. Thome is punched out.
JV reached back to get a little extra there. That's his best fastball of the night. And he needed this fastball to get Thome out because Thome has had his number. 99 miles an hour.
Six strikeouts for Verlander. And now here's Kubel. Struck him out in the second inning. Kubel rips one into center field. Base hit. Span coming to third. They're going to send him home. Jackson overruns it. A run will score. Meanwhile, Mauer will get to third on the overrun in center by Jackson.
Jackson did that for the second consecutive day. Not really going to have a play on Hudson at home plate here. So what you do if you're Jackson is you take your time, you get to the ball, and you make sure the runner stays at second and first. But he overruns it, and that allows the Mauer to get to third.
Just the third hit of the game, and now Rick Knapp is out. Single RBI, E8.
That is the third error this year by Jackson. And as I told you, the second one came on the exact same play a couple of days ago.
By the way, this game tonight is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. And the Comcast remote is in the ball tonight. Oh, my goodness.
Beautiful.
You know, how many times do you lose the remote? We need to get a remote that size. You'd never lose it.
I've got that same remote at the crib.
It's got its own hands. It can push its own buttons. That's perfect. Here's Kadire. Off the end of the bat, 0-1. You got a remote that big at the crib?
Well, not the same remote, but the mini version.
Oh, okay. I thought you literally meant that one.
Mine works with batteries, though.
0-1 on Kadire, who flied to right field back in the second. Tipped into the glove of Laird, 0-2. Kadire's played just about everywhere this year. They've had him in the outfield. He's played some third. He's played some second, playing first base tonight. Doesn't really complain either. He goes where Gardenhire tells him to go. Here's the 0-2. 98 on that last fastball from Verlander. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Kadire goes fishing. Well, they're starting to pile up now. 7 Verlander strikeouts.
It looked like he took a little extra off this breaking ball. Real slow breaking ball that had Kadire fooled and out in front. And look at the tight spin. Especially when Lincoln Mercury shows up and shows it to us in X mode. We got X mode tonight. We got the blimp tonight. We got Elvis hanging in the building.
Got the remote.
Big night tonight at Comerica Park.
There's Delvin Young. He takes it outside. Young also fanned back in the second. Twins get a run here on the RBI hit by Kubel. Still 7-1 Detroit. One and one. Verlander now has 17 strikeouts in his last 10 2/3 innings. He has rolled up a few tonight. Here's the 1-1.
He's one of the top 5 right-handed pitchers in baseball. That much is for sure. You get an argument out of Colorado for Jimenez. Philadelphia, you got Halladay. Have you seen what that kid Josh Johnson is doing down in Florida?
And he's doing it very quietly.
Are you kidding me?
Very quietly. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty impressive.
Wow.
Here's the 2-1. 2-2.
I hate to say it, but this might be the year where the National League gives the American League a little run for their money in the All-Star game.
Really?
Halladay, Jimenez, and Josh Johnson at the beginning of that game. If it shapes out that way, it's going to be a tight game.
It's kind of the opposite last year with all the dominating American League pitching.
Wasn't fair.
And the 2-2. And it'll get fouled back out of play.
Delvin Young is having a tremendous year. His hitting coach, Joe Vavra, he liked to use the word maturity. But Ron Gardenhire, his manager, said dedication. Said he has finally dedicated himself to being the kind of player which allowed him to be the first player chosen in 2003 of the amateur draft. Putting up good numbers at the bottom of their batting order.
That'll go foul again down the right field line. Well, Young, as we mentioned, was on that final vote in the Twins actually came up with a campaign to get Delman into the game. It's the Drive-In Delman campaign that they had T-shirts made up and wanting folks to vote for Young, kind of like last year when Tigers had the Vote In shirts made up. But in the end, Swisher in New York had too many backers.
He's deserving as well.
In the air to center field. Jackson runs it down and the side retired. They will settle for 1 run. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Don't touch your remote. It's still 7-1 Detroit. What Major League Baseball award was established on this date in 1956? The answer is the Cy Young Award. Don Newcomb was the first recipient. He also won the NL MVP that season.
Don Newcomb.
Well, the Cy Young was a little bit before that, but apparently not. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the 4th. They lead at 7-1. Rayburn leads it off. It'll be Rayburn, then Ordonez, then Cabrera. Ryan hit by a pitch in his last at bat. He scored a run. High, towering fly ball hit a ton to center field. Span to the warning track.
That's what Ryan has been doing a little bit too much of, and that's not picking the right part of the ballpark to hit the ball to. Not that you have that much control over that situation, but he has hit a lot of balls to straightaway center field in some big parts this year that have landed harmlessly in the outfielder's glove.
Big night for Ordonez tonight. 2 for 2, 3 RBIs. Singled 1 in the first, singled 2 in the second. Bouncing ball to second base, routine for Hudson.
Hey fans, as soon as our game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live. You'll hear from the manager, Jim Leland, and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game and we'll show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Paul Sam Studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit.
2 gone. Here comes Cabrera. That's some great shots tonight from the DirecTV blimp.
That is a very nice and different vantage point.
Really showcases this ballpark very nicely. And it looked great tonight with all the folks in the seats.
Boy, is full.
Got some standing room only going on out beyond the center field walls. Cabrera has an RBI and a hit. And a 17-game hitting streak, equaling his career high. And Miguel has also been on base now in 23 straight. So he is not letting up heading to the All-Star break. Bosch would bat next if Cabrera reaches. Most, if not all, of the Tigers' production tonight coming from 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup. Low 3-1. On the ground to the third baseman, Punto. And the Tigers, for the first time tonight, go down 1-2-3. We played 4. It'll be Hardy, Punto, Span coming up. Experience the 2011 Jaguar XJ. Back here in downtown Detroit, the Tigers all over the Twins tonight, 7-1. They knocked Liriano out of the game in the second inning. And meanwhile, Verlander going back to work here in the fifth. He has J.J. Hardy to deal with, and Nick Punto and Denard Span. Twins have managed only 3 hits tonight against the Tigers ace.
Back in 07, when Verlander threw his no-hitter, it was J.J. Hardy, then playing for the Milwaukee Brewers, that flew out for the final out of the game to Magglio Ordonez.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Still one of the highlight moments of this new ballpark here in Detroit, which I guess is not as new as it has been. It opened up in 2000, but a lot of great moments already in this ballpark.
And Verlander did that against a good offensive club. Well, we've watched him for the last number of years pitch really well against most teams. That's just how good he is.
Here's the 1-2.
How about this? 75 wins since 06. Only a couple have been better.
Play by Scott Alger. 2-2 the count on J.J. Hardy. Traded for Carlos Gomez last November. On the ground to the shortstop. Bobbled initially by Worth. 1 out. Well, the prize of the trading deadline or trading time as we head to July 31st has been Cliff Lee, and well, he's going to Texas.
Yes, he is. Nolan Ryan, their president, he loves pitching, obviously, and they got a real good one in Cliff Lee. The only guy that I know that was given up there is Justin Smoke, the first baseman who made his major league debut while we were in Texas. But I am sure that Jack Zaremczyk got a lot of really good players in return for Cliff Lee. I would be shocked if we don't see a couple of guys on that list that turn into really good players.
2 outs now for Denard Span. Well, I know that they wanted, and they desperately need a lot of power in that lineup. The guy that they got that is big league ready is Smoke, and I don't know, what are you projecting at? Maybe 20, 25 homers?
Well, he's not doing all that well right now, and it was kind of hard because he got off to a slow start while we were there. So I really have not seen enough of Smoke to really give you an honest opinion as to what I think he might project into. But I know he's a first rounder, and Texas is very high on him, and now apparently Seattle high on him too, even though he's only hitting barely over 200. This much we do know. We know what Cliff Lee can do. And I thought we were done seeing him the remainder of the year, but we've got to go back to Texas for a series. Ooh, and they come back here too.
Denard Span, the batter. Seven to 1 Tigers lead. We're in the 5th. The 1-2 is high. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now, Minnesota, I know they were hot and heavy on Cliff Lee, and apparently they probably aren't feeling all that good today, but they're probably happy he didn't end up in our division, and I'm sure the Tigers and White Sox are happy that Cliff Lee is not in the American League Central.
No question. And it looked like earlier today the Yankees had a deal in place. Looper into left, and Rayburn will run it down. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Verlander. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Legendary performance on this date. 3 separate major leaguers hit for the cycle. In 1937, Joe DiMaggio against the Senators. In 71, Freddie Patek of the Royals against the Twins. Chris Spire in 88 against the Cardinals.
A couple of light-hitting shortstops on that list. Patek and Spire.
Here's Brendan Bosch in the 5th inning. 7-1 Tigers in the lead, and Brendan takes outside a single, hit by a pitch, RBI, run scored. Tigers have 7 hits. Twins have 3 hits. Bosch now with 48 RBIs. And after winning the Rookie of the Month award in May and June, he came in batting .429 in July. An impressive start to his big league career, which began at the end of the month of April when the Tigers were in Texas. The 1-1 pitch is inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. He hit it the other way, and it's a fair ball. Inside the bag at third, Bosch motoring to second, and he will slide in with a double. Very aggressive out of the box. He was smelling 2-base hit the entire way.
You don't usually see big, strong, physical guys that swing the bat left-handed in a 2-1 count. Slice the ball the opposite way, but Brennan hit the ball exactly where it was pitched. And boy, is he a wild stallion when he is running out of that batter's box. It's a well-located pitch by Burnett.
Bosch has 2 more hits tonight. 18th double of the year. Here's Guillen. Carlos delivered the knockout blow to Liriano back in the second. It was the final hitter that Liriano faced. A 2-run triple. Golf back out of play. 0-2 on Guillen. Alex Burnett then took over in the second, has been in the game since. Although now they have Brian Dunsing beginning to warm up.
Ron Gardenhire, the last thing that you wanted to do here today with probably your best pitcher on the mound in Liriano, and that was get into your bullpen in the second inning. Especially as deep as he had to dip into that bullpen in their just completed series in Toronto. I mean, Liriano's that guy that you're hoping goes out there and gives you 6, gives you 7, and gets your bullpen back in order.
Didn't happen tonight. He was ousted in the second. Tigers trying to add to the 7-1 advantage here in the 5th. Fouled away. Carlos with his 2 RBIs tonight has 28 for the year. Ground ball to third. Punto off his glove. Hardy will not have a play, and everybody is safe.
I think Punto left his feet for that ball, and that ball kind of kicked back on him. And with the range that Punto has, he may have been able to stay on his feet and make this play. A couple of steps to his left, and then he leaves his feet, and it's almost like he had to short arm the baseball. Probably didn't need to leave his feet there. Did Nick.
Here's Brandon Inge. Still nobody out. Inge was in the Tigers locker room today, showing off some new hockey sticks that the Red Wings apparently had made for him. They got his name on them, and Brandon says, I don't know how to skate, but I want to learn how to play hockey. And so Jeff Jones, the bullpen coach, is kind of giving him some pointers on how to actually hold the hockey stick and how to shoot a puck. He had a tennis ball in the locker room, and Brandon was swinging it like a golf club. But he's learning. Here's the 0-1. And it's fouled back out of play. 0-2.
Ice skating is probably one of the more difficult things that I did as a kid. Going to the ice rink and trying to get out there and stand those little thin blades and keep it all together. It was tough to do.
Growing up around here, I mean, all my friends played hockey, and most kids do here in the Detroit area. I never really learned how to skate or learn how to play hockey. We'd play street hockey or hockey in the gym, floor hockey.
But you've been on some ice skates, though, haven't you?
You know, and it was ugly, and so I just didn't pursue it.
It's tough.
It is tough.
You know what else? That ice hurts.
It's not real soft.
That stuff doesn't give.
1-2 on Inge. I think Brandon actually got those sticks for his kids, but he was messing around with them. The 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I used to go to a roller rink back in Santa Monica growing up as a kid. And like Tuesday night, it was like high school night or something like that. So you'd all go and you'd try to be all cool and put some nice clothes on, and you'd leave there soaking wet because you was hitting that turf all night long.
Roller skating, another thing.
Walking home freezing.
Fouled away 2-2. You didn't look as good coming out as you did going in.
Freezing walking to the house. You know, you got in high school, mom didn't come pick you up no more. But it was fun time, though.
Inge battling Burnett here. Guillen given a single on that play. A double by Bosch started the inning. And again the 2-2. Another foul back out of play. And this is another example of what Leland was talking about before the game. How Inge has really begun to grind out at bats here.
I like what he does with 2 strikes. And he chokes up. He's one of the few Tigers that does something visibly with 2 strikes on them. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes not.
Bouncing ball to short. Should be 2. There's 1. And there's a double play. 6-4-3. Advanced Bosch to third. He's going to bring up Laird. Gerald hit the ball hard his last time up. A line drive to right field that sent Kubel back to the warning track. He also has a walk and a run scored. Gerald now 1 for 11 on the homestand. Looking for the 2-out knock here to drive in a run. Bosch with his 27th multiple hit game this year, standing at third base right now. He has a single and a double tonight. And a bouncing ball to short should get him out of the inning. Hardy up with this one as well. On the side retired, promising inning for the Tigers, but they get nothing. Verlander back out to the hill.
and Verlander is the main reason why. He's got all 4 of his pitches working. He's kept the ball out of the middle of the plate. He's attacked the strike zone with first pitch strikes. And when you add it all up, you get one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
He had a pretty good line tonight at 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 7. Count them, 7 strikeouts already for Verlander. 6th inning is underway as Orlando Hudson leads it off. Hudson and then Mauer and then Thome. Verlander got him 1, 2, 3 in the 5th. 2-0.
Hudson had himself up in this same count last time, up 2 balls, no strikes, and got himself a fastball and got a base hit for a bullet.
And there's a base hit up the middle.
Another bullet.
At least 2 for 3. It'll be the 4th hit tonight for Minnesota. Bring up Joe Mauer. Mauer is 0 for 1. Twins lead the season series between these two clubs 6-3. They've won 6 out of the 9, including 2 out of 3 when they last played at the end of May, or I should say the end of June in Minnesota. That's when Ryan Gardner's team was in first place. They were looking pretty good, but since then they have struggled in the early part of July.
It's pretty much been their pitching, their starting rotation. A couple times through, their rotation just hasn't been all that good, and really that's the reason why they haven't played all that well as a club. They still committed the fewest errors in the American League. Their bullpen is still very good. They've got that guy, Carl Pavano. But the rest of their starters really haven't done that well lately.
Here's the 1-0.
And we're talking about a team that pretty much, since Gardenhire took over in the beginning of '03, that has gotten it done with pitching and defense.
Check the count, 1 ball and 1 strike on Mauer. Well, Blackburn's ERA is around 6. Slowey is almost 5. They have gotten good outings from Liriano and Pavano. Not counting tonight for Liriano, of course. With the Tigers knocked out of the game with 7 runs in the first 2 innings.
They've scored 13 runs against Liriano in his last 2 starts against them. That's a lot of runs for a guy that has that kind of arsenal.
Mauer, for the most part this year, has been a non-factor against the Tigers. In fact, he is now 3 for 20 against Detroit pitching this year, which goes against his career numbers. Here's the 1-2.
Don't know if Mauer will ever have a year like he had last year. 365. He won the American League batting title. He also had the highest on base percentage and the highest slugging percentage. The last time a player had that trifecta, you got to go all the way back to '80 when George Brett did that for the Kansas City Royals. So we're talking about a special guy here. Really special guy.
That was the year that Brett was flirting with 400. And Verlander missing again, run it to 3-2.
I told you earlier that about this time last year, Mauer, he was in the high 380s. We were talking about him potentially getting the 400.
And Thome waiting on deck.
There you have it. 388 at this time last year. With 15 home runs, 47 RBIs, in a lot less games played too.
Runner goes. Grounded foul. Yeah, he missed the entire month of April last year.
Came back. First swing that he took was a home run. First swing, not first at bat. First swing. And it was on after that. What do you make of the fact that he has not hit a home run at home yet?
Well, we've how many games have we done in that ballpark now?
I think 6.
6. I can see why it hasn't happened yet. I mean, it certainly is a ballpark that will swallow up some fly balls. I don't know. I mean, in some of the articles I've read, they're making a lot about the fact that, you know, Mauer is really banged up, and we don't know how really healthy he is. I don't know. I just think that ballpark has a lot to do with it, because the difference is so great. He's hit 4 total this year all in a row.
Got him.
Look out! Got him again.
I see you, JV.
Second pickoff of the game for Verlander. He got Span in the first. He gets Hudson in the 6th.
And really, he's running here, but you're not supposed to try to get a good lead or a good jump. And Verlander, look at where he's throwing these balls, though. In the first inning, look how far Cabrera has to reach. He threw the ball right down there, and he's able to apply the tag.
Bouncing ball to the right side. Guillen knocks it down. Has time. Safe.
Verlander now has 17 pickoffs since 06, which is the most by a right-handed pitcher in Major League Baseball. You don't usually see big, strong power pitchers with real good moves to first base, but Verlander's an exception to that rule. Very quick feet. Good athlete, as a matter of fact.
Here's Tomey walking a strikeout. Driven down the right field line. Fair ball. That's a base hit in front of Bosch. And holding at second base is Mauer. So they got something going now. First and second with 1 out. Time for a game break. Back to the studio. Here's Mickey York. And Mickey, it was Chicago that came in a half game back of the Tigers, and Minnesota had dropped to 2 outs. So the White Sox winning again tonight. And they got some bad news the other day with Peavy out for the year, but they continue to roll. Jason Kubel, the batter. Minnesota trying to crawl back into this one. 2 on, 1 out. Kubel had an RBI single in the 4th. The mask of Laird. Weinhardt, the right-hander. Brad Thomas, the left-hander.
Verlander has thrown a fastball today at 99 miles an hour. That was to Jim Tomey. He struck him out on that pitch. And he's also gone as low as 78 miles an hour with one of his secondary pitches. Those readings courtesy of Comcast.
Two on Kubel. In this spot back in the 4th, he singled in a run. Missed it inside. 3-2. Kubel has 47 RBIs. On deck is Kadire. Kubel, one of those Twins hitters that has done some pretty good work against Verlander. 11 for 30 in his career against Justin. And a chance to drive his team a little bit closer here. Fouled away. So as we play here in the 6th inning, Verlander now is approaching 100 pitches. Again, the 3-2. Line drive, base hit, left field. Mauer coming to third. He's going to score. Thome rumbles to second base, and the Twins now have made it 7-2. Second RBI of the night for Jason Kubel.
We're going to make that our bell tire pitch by pitch. You talked about the fact that Kubel's got some pretty good numbers against Verlander, and the reason for that is he's an outstanding fastball hitter. And that's why the first pitch is a breaking ball, followed up by a couple of fastballs. He misses with the second one, and now it's on. He fouls off a couple, fouls off another, finally gets the fastball he's looking for and rips it over the head of Danny Wirth.
4 straight singles for Minnesota here in the 6th. The pickoff looming large now, the only out in this inning. So with only 1 out, that's going to bring up Michael Kadire, who is one of those Twins that has had a habit of bouncing into double plays this year, 14 of them, which is tied for the team high. Justin could use one right now. Still a 5-run Tigers lead. That was number 100 for Verlander. Justin in search of his 11th win of the season. David Price has 12. Sabathia and Pettit each have 11. Here's the 2-1. Verlander wanted that one. 3 balls, 1 strike. Pretty close. To center field. Jackson can't make a play on it. Another base hit. 5 straight singles for the Twins here in the 6th.
And really the only one that was hit hard is the one that Kubel hit over the head of Danny Wirth, and Jim Lehman's going to go get him.
Verlander will lead with the bases loaded. Dillman Young due up. Another pitching change here at Comerica Park. The Verlander coming out of this one. We'll step aside for the score. The Tigers 7 and Minnesota 2. The Tigers right now have a 7-2 lead. His number is 5 1/3 tonight. 7 strikeouts, but he is responsible for the 3 runners on the bases. 5 straight singles in this inning. And Robbie Weinhardt will take over now for Detroit.
Well, here's Weinhardt's AAA numbers. They're very good. Opponent's batting average at the bottom just .227. He's only walked 4, but pitching in some stress here. He's inherited 3 of Verlander's base runners. Boy, would he love to keep all 3 stranded out there for JV. Verlander had a start in April against this Minnesota Twins team where he threw 121 pitches in 5 2/3 innings. So it's an offense that at times puts a little stress on Verlander, as they did here in the 6th inning. But he was cruising.
Young sends it back for the seats and out of play. He is knocked into 9 double plays this year. And Delman in this game, a strikeout and a flyout.
Man, Robbie's got a nice sinker to his arm side, which runs down and into the right-handed batters. And should he locate one of those, we might see one of those double plays.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Guillen will tag the bag 1, and in time the double play. 10 double plays for Delman. Young, and Verlander loves it. What a job by Robbie Weinhardt. The big Worth, Jackson, and Rayburn coming up.
Back in the 2nd inning, Jim Leland put the sacrifice bunt on with Danny Worth. Worth really got out of the batter's box. Liriano took his time, and Worth was given a base hit. Runners on 1st and 2nd, the very next batter. Jim puts it on again, and Jackson does it to perfection. A couple of guys, well-executed sacrifice bunts here early in the game, and that kind of led to knocking Liriano out of this ball game. Real good technique by both guys. Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Brian Dunsing checks in for Minnesota. 3rd round pick of the Twins back in 05. Dunsing, the left-hander, will face Danny Worth to start it off here in the bottom of the 6th. Chopper hit toward 3rd, foul. So Weinhardt saves Verlander a few runs there. They left 2. Bases loaded double play by Young, got him out of the jam. And it's 7-2 Detroit. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Rolled foul. 1-2 the count stays. Dunsing is out of Marysville, Kansas, 27 years old. Tigers have not been able to get a whole lot. In fact, nothing since that 5-run second. They jumped out to a 7-0 lead, but they haven't gotten anything else in a wave and a miss. Strikeout for Dunsing, 1 gone here in the 6th.
Hey fans, be at Comerica Park tomorrow for the 4:10 p.m. game between the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. The first 10,000 fans receive a free travel tote. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Here's Austin Jackson. Jackson, a walk, a steal, and a run scored in the first. He lined into a double play back in the 3rd. Dunsing's 1-0. Three and a third scoreless for Burnett, and now Dunsing takes over here in the 6th. (3-0) on Austin. 93 hits, 50 runs scored. Actually 51 with his runs scored tonight. Tops among all rookies in the American League. And the 3-0 pitch. He's taking. It's a ball. He walked him. 1 on, 1 out. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Get every MLB game in HD. Call 1-800-DIRECTV. Some sparkling shots. The blimp taking tonight of a sellout crowd of 42,549. It is the 6th sellout this year at Comerica Park. Gorgeous sight. Here's Rayburn. Time called now. Mauer heads out to the mound. Rayburn in the ball game, hit by a pitch in the 2nd. He scored a run.
You don't know exactly what pitch Dunsing will throw here, but obviously he's having some command issues. He walked Jackson and falls behind Rayburn. And so if you're Ryan Rayburn, you're looking for one pitch in one zone, which would be the fastball. Predictable fastball count. He got it.
Punto at third base, fires to second one. There's going to be no relay. Safe on the fielder's choice. Ryan Rayburn, 2 gone.
Rayburn knew he had that fastball that he was looking for, but he got out in front of it and hooked it back to Punto at third.
Here comes Ordonez, who has 3 RBIs in this one tonight. Ron Gardenhire tonight getting everything he can out of his bullpen after the Tigers scored 7. They have kept the game doable, at least. It's a 5-run game right now as Don Kelly takes over as the pinch runner.
Don Kelly more than likely would have come into this game for Ryan Rayburn at some point in time. But Rayburn's been limping around since being hit in the foot. His second at bat of the game back in the 2nd inning by Francisco Liriano.
Ordonez with his 3 RBIs tonight now has 55. One of the big bats early for the Tigers. 2 RBIs as well for Guillen and 1 each for Bosch and Cabrera. Here's the 1-1. Little pop up, shallow right, and it'll drop. Base hit. Kelly holds up at second base. Another hit for Maglio. His 3rd of the night.
Maglio came into the play tonight with tremendous numbers against the Minnesota Twins, and he just hits the ball all around the ballpark. That's a knock right there to right field. He pulled a slider the first time up, drove in a run off Liriano, and then he got Liriano once again. This one right back up the middle. So he's hitting one to right, he's hitting one to left, and he's hitting one to center. And that's why he's a career 300 hitter. did a little piece with Bert Blyleven before the game. He calls the games for FS North, and he said one of the things that his club had to do was shut down Maglio, which they have not been able to do.
He was right on cue. Pitching change, and the Twins go to the bullpen. We'll be back.
.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel. And get your gear from the official source at the Tigers.com shop and accept no substitutes.
Well, the Tigers are threatening here, and they will face a new pitcher. Matt Guerrier is coming out of the bullpen for Minnesota.
Well, Ron Gardenhire down by 5, and he understands he cannot fall behind anymore. Therefore, he didn't want the left-hander Dunston to face Cabrera. He brings in Guerrier, who has already been in 39 games this year, to go after the very talented Miguel Cabrera. Guerrier's got good numbers. Always does.
Guerrier has been a mainstay out of their bullpen. In fact, he's been over 70 appearances each of the last 3 years. Not bad for a guy that was at one point claimed off the waiver wire from the Pittsburgh Pirates as a minor leaguer.
Hard thrower, anywhere from 92 to 95 with his fastball. Got a real nice slider. You saw it on that first pitch to Cabrera.
Here's the 0-1. Tried to hold up. It'll get away from Mauer. Advance the runners. Wild pitch.
Guerrier's got real good numbers against Miguel. 1 for 13. Another reason why Gardenhire brought him in for this at-bat. It's a nice luxury to have if you're a manager and you got a guy that will trot out there 70 times a year for you. It's a nice luxury to have.
In the hole, 0-2. Cabrera takes low. 10 Tigers hits tonight, 8 for Minnesota. Tigers not bad tonight, 5 for 11 with men in scoring position. They've got Kelly aboard right now. One with Ordonez. Stays away again, 2-2.
Tigers been scoring runs in bunches pretty much this whole homestand, but they really haven't been doing it with a lot of power, not a lot of home runs. Lots of singles and doubles. Just playing some real good, aggressive hardball.
Maglio had a couple of singles tonight to knock in 3. Bosch knocked one in with a single. There's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And the struggles for Cabrera against Guerrier continue. So the Tigers threaten, do not score. 6 in the books. 7-2. Minnesota. And there's the voice of the Red Wings on Fox Sports Detroit. Ken Daniels taking in some Tiger baseball tonight. Enjoying right now a 7-2 lead. That's his son Jamie to his left. And back to work goes Weinhardt here in the 7th inning. 7-2 Detroit. J.J. Hardy leads it off. Kenny got himself some good seats.
That he does.
Must have connections. There's another strike 0-2. Weinhardt with that sinker he has has induced a double play now in both of his outings at the big league level. But the one that he got against Young was a huge one in the 6th with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss, and that will be a strikeout. His first. It's going to bring up Nick Punto. The first big league strikeout for Robbie. He gets J.J. Hardy. Punto is 0 for 2. Weinhardt is from Texas. He had a chance to sign with the Astros, who drafted him in the 38th round in 07, but he decided to go back for his senior year at Oklahoma State, where he roomed with current Tiger Andy Oliver. That one misses, 2 balls and 1 strike, and here they are just a couple of short years later, both pitching in the big leagues. As Andy, he's going to pitch in Game 3 in the series on Sunday. A little bit outside, 3-1. Span waiting on deck. Down the middle it comes, 3-2. Punto taking here in the 7th, down 5 runs. Twins need some base runners. And he got him, strike 3. 2 gone. Well, that really wasn't quite the same pitch that he got from Trevor Thompson tonight, who threw out the ceremonial first pitch to Weinhardt.
Trev threw from the mound and threw a strike right down the middle. Strike! And let you know it, too.
It didn't bounce.
Great job tonight by Trevor Thompson. That is the one thing that anybody that has ever thrown out a first pitch, you just don't want to bounce it. Just don't.
Span looks at a ball outside.
We didn't bounce ours, but they made us throw from like the front of the mound. They didn't let us go all the way to the top of the mound when we threw out our first pitches last year.
And for that, I was thankful. It's a whole different story on top of the mound. Trevor just let it fly, man.
He didn't think about it. You see how quick he threw it?
Yep.
He just got there and just tossed it. He wanted to take all the guesswork out of it. I guess he's signing some autographs now.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
No?
He's getting ready for postgame.
You know he is. He'll have a lot of interviews.
Fouled away, 1-2 on Denard Span.
Trev does it all, man. He like rides bulls and line dances and everything.
He's very versatile.
Elvis today. Hardest working man in show business. Well, no, that's John Keaton. I don't want to give that away. I'm sorry, John.
As you like to say, let's not get it twisted.
No, I'm not. I don't want to get it twisted, John.
2-2. Span 1 for 3. There's Hudson waiting on deck. Nice night tonight for the Tigers. They got 7 runs early against Liriano. Bounced him out of the game, but they haven't been able to do anything since. Tiger pitching, though, has given up just 2 runs. 2-2 on Denard Span. The end of the bat foul back into the Tiger dugout. Middle game tomorrow features Bonderman and Blackburn, and then Oliver Pavano. Wrap it up on Sunday, and then the All-Star break is here. Here's Weinhardt's roomie. There's Bondo. He'll throw tomorrow. Ground ball to first base. Cabrera takes a tricky hop. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Take another look at Trevor Thompson. Coming right at you.
X-Mo.
Good frame job by Weinhardt. On your local Fox station. Dick Stockton, Ron Allen with the play-by-play tomorrow. In game 2 and then game 3 Sunday. Then it's the All-Star break. And yes, it's Elvis night tonight. A little jailhouse rock going on. And some bad dancing. New pitcher is Jose Majares.
Majares did an outstanding job for Ron Gardenhire out of his bullpen last year. And he's done okay this year. Comes in with a 2.55 earned run average. He's been kind of stingy as far as the base on balls are concerned. Just 5 in 17 and 2/3 innings pitched for Majares.
Bosch leads it off for the Tigers, and he spins away from a ball inside.
That's a breaking ball that kind of got away from Majares. And Brennan Bosch has already been hit once in this game. That was by Liriano earlier. And it just grazed him. It didn't get him all that flush.
Another big night for Brennan. Singled in a run in the first, hit by pitch, scored a run in the second, doubled in the fifth. Headed to the All-Star break, red hot, facing another lefty, which typically doesn't mean a whole lot to Bosch. The 1-1. It's updated now. 458 against lefties.
That's ridiculous. It really is. It really is ridiculous. I wonder if Jim's going to go down to Florida and watch his son play some baseball over the All-Star break.
Well, he was asked that the other day.
That's usually what dads do.
The 1-2. Foul back out of play. Well, Jim said he's going down for one day. He's not going to spend too many days down there. And his thinking is that he doesn't want any extra pressure on Patrick. He just wants to let him play. And he knows if he goes down there, it's going to become a story. And he's hanging around the ballpark. And so he might go down there to see him one day, but that's it. He's going to be in Pittsburgh.
Put a disguise on him. Chill out.
Shave the mustache.
You should be able to go watch your son play, regardless of the situation.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And Bosch out of strikes. So one away. Bring up Carlos Guillen. Guillen with a 2-run triple in the second. 2 out of 3 in this game. Carlos' bat starting to come around now. 333 in the month of July entering play tonight. Tigers tonight have 10 hits.
I can kind of sympathize with what Jim is saying, though, because there were some times where you kind of go to your son's game and your son might be playing some good baseball before you get there. And all of a sudden you get a day off and you call yourself going to the game to watch him play. And they punch out 3 times.
Absolutely.
And then everybody starts to say, you know what? You don't play well in front of your dad when your dad comes to the game. And it's not a fair thing to say, but those types of things get said. If you have a dad that played, or a dad like in Jim's situation that's managing, or even you in your situation when you go watch your son play. I don't know if you've ever run into that, but I've run into that quite a bit.
Yeah, I think they try a little harder. Once dad is in the stands. And I think that's what Leland's trying to avoid, because Patrick is still 18 years old. He's in pro ball for the first time in his career, and he wants him to, kind of do it on his own right now and let him feel his way through his first month. But you're right, man. It's really difficult. But on the flip side, you bring up a great point in that, you know what, you should be able to go watch your son play.
Oh, no doubt.
And that's what it's all about.
No question about that.
Here's the 1-2. It's fouled straight back. Maharis takes over for Guerrier, who took over for Dunsing, who took over for Burnett. They had to go deep into the pen because Liriano was knocked out in the second inning tonight. Ground ball, third base, deep behind the bag. Punto. 2 outs.
Punto looked like he slipped as he approached this ground ball.
Here's Inge. Brandon 0 for 3, hit into a double play back in the 5th. Forgot to ask Lloyd, by the way, about Bo, because his son Bo McClendon is playing on the same team that Patrick is playing on, the Gulf Coast League team for Detroit. And Bo,
their roommates.
Yeah, the roommates, and Bo's off to a good start.
Good for Bo. Good for Bo. Bo's a college kid. Of course, Patrick is a high school kid, so I'm sure Bo is being a good roommate to the youngster.
A couple of proud papas next to each other in the dugout.
They're good friends, too, Jim and Lloyd. They've been together quite a bit.
2-1.
When Lloyd came here his first year, he was a bullpen coach. And then his second year, he took over the offensive duties for the club. Drawing a blank on who the hitting coach was in 06. You remember?
Don Slott?
Yep. You got it.
Yeah.
He was one and done, Don Slott.
Pretty much, yeah. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. And a 1-2-3 inning. A couple of strikeouts for Maharis. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Oh, well, in his last 2 starts against the Tigers, over 15 ERA. The Tigers roughed him up again here tonight for 7 runs. That second inning, 3 hits, 2 hit batters, 2 sacrifices, 5 runs scored for Detroit. And Verlander, 5 1/3 tonight with 7 strikeouts. In a good portion of his pitches, 95 miles an hour or more. Here is Phil Coke, the new pitcher.
He's done nice work. Comes in 5-0 with a very good earned run average, just a shade over 2.5. 28 strikeouts in 34 2/3, and more importantly, he will take that ball for Jim Leyland every time he calls down to that bullpen.
So it's going to be Orlando Hudson leading it off as we go to the 8th inning. 7-2. Tigers over the Twins.
Look like Phillips still sporting the
the Kings of Swing. Nice shoes.
Nice hair.
You know what? I'll take that hair.
That's the way that hair used to look, though, in them days when Elvis was doing his thing.
I will take it. Oh, see, I'd forgotten all about this one.
I sure did, too.
Apparently, they must have a drive down there where they save all this stuff.
I've got bangs.
Jeez Louise. Must be boarding the truck tonight.
I like it.
2-0.
Couple perm jobs there.
You guys got anything else down there that you want to share with us? I shouldn't ask that question. They'll dig it up. 2-0 on Hudson. Inge coming in at 3rd. Hudson is out. 1 away. Oh, no. I asked for it. What do they got?
Oh, no. Please don't do that to us. That's not right. She actually made that. Oh, they put us in there. That's not us. They stuck us in there.
Oh, man. All we needed was a couple of pacifiers.
That was for Burt. They wanted to get circled by Burt.
Okay, that'll do. We're good. Here's Mauer. So you're saying they doctored that up, is what you're saying?
Yeah. They doctored that up. They doctored that one up.
Mauer's been on base twice tonight, single and a walk and a run score. Coates 1-0 pitch.
Joe Mauer, one of the most popular players in the game of baseball today, if not the most popular. He got more votes from fans to go to the All-Star game next Tuesday in Anaheim than any other player. I think he got 600 more votes or ballots cast for him than Derek Jeter did. 600,000.
600,000 or okay. Well, that's pretty impressive then. That's really impressive. You're talking about A, Jeter, and B, New York.
No doubt.
Two balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch is on the ground at first base. And right there is Cabrera. They're going to get Mauer. 2 gone. So Coke coming out of the pen, doing a nice job. Couple of ground ball outs. It's going to bring up Jim Thome. He has faced Coke 5 times in his career, 1 for 5 against him. Thome tonight on base twice, single and a walk. You total up all the numbers for Thome. He has had 6 separate seasons of 40 or more home runs in a career, again, that began with the Cleveland Indians. The 1-0. Foul back out of play.
That's when he was doing most of that 40 homer damage, wasn't it?
It sure was. Yeah, he had quite a few of them, or a few of them, I should say, with the Indians.
Then he went to Philadelphia as a free agent, and that was a tough deal for him. He really didn't want to leave Cleveland, but those dollar signs came to call him. He kept Ryan Howard in the big leagues probably 2 years longer than Ryan Howard needed to be in the minor leagues.
In fact, 1 year in Cleveland, he hit 52.
They had a good team. A great team. No championships, though. But great teams.
Came up as the third baseman. The Indians got Matt Williams, and they moved Tomey across the diamond. And the rest is history. The 1-2. What happened there? Tomey has not played defense since 2007 when he played one game at first base for the White Sox. And the 2-2. It's outside, 3-2.
It's one of the reasons why they struggled in interleague play this year. No Jim Tomey. But as soon as they came out and playing the National League, they put Kubel in right. And they inserted Tomey into that DH spot. It's been pretty much that way every day.
And there's the walk. 2 out base on balls for Jim Tomey.
Looks like the Twins have a noticeably better record within the division. 19-10.
Well, and that's going to make a difference if it stays that way down the stretch. I mean, obviously the team that plays better within the division is going to win because you play more games within the division. There's ball 1 to Kubel.
It should be an entertaining second half of the season. That much is for sure when you've got a 3-team race. No perfect teams, but all good teams. And it usually comes down to pitching. Whoever pitches the best usually gets in.
That ball's hit a ton straight up, though. Bosch coming in from right field. And the center fielder, Jackson, makes the catch. That'll do it for the Twins. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Wallside Windows. For a free and home estimate, call 1-800-521-7800. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Sellout crowd here tonight at Comerica Park with the Tigers leading it. Well, what else do we have now? Well, check that out. That's a little bit better now.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we appreciate it, too. Elvis may have been king, but a pair of aces.
They're being nice to us now.
Yeah,
I like them, though. I appreciate you guys down there.
They felt that. Jesse Crane is the new pitcher now for Minnesota.
36 game now for Jesse Crane, and he's been one of those mainstays as well. For Ron Gardenhire out of that bullpen last few years.
Gerald Laird leading it off. It'll be Laird, Worth, and then Jackson.
No hits today for G-Money, but he has caught a really nice game, as he does on most nights. I'm sure he'd love to see that batting average perk up, as would Jim Leland and Lloyd McClendon. But he continues to catch good games, and he doesn't allow the offense to trickle over to his defense, which is a good thing.
Two 2-0 on Laird. Six pitchers used tonight by Minnesota. Tigers have led all night long. 3-0. Tough night for Rick Anderson's pitching staff, and it was made tough because the Tigers again jumped on Francisco Liriano with 7 runs in the first 2 innings.
Their pitching was roughed up in Toronto, too. It's been a rough trip for them so far.
Three and 1 on Laird. Gerald walked and scored in the second, the only time he's reached tonight. And he swings right through it. 3 and 2. Danny Worth on deck. A couple of hits tonight.
Good swing right there by Gerald. 3-1, 3-2 fastball right down the middle. Fouled straight back. But boy, he had a good cutout.
Rolled left side. It's going to get through. He found a hole. Laird is aboard with the leadoff single.
Hey, Tigers fans, this season is easier than ever to find the seats you want or to sell the tickets to the games that you just can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
Big fella John Roush heating up. Here comes Danny Worth. A couple of hits, raising his average to 278. And he takes Lone away. Twins came into this game having lost 5 of their last 7 and fell behind early in this one to the Tigers.
Well, if you're a team in the American League Central, you pretty much know you've got to go through Minnesota if you're going to play some meaningful games in the month of October. Yeah, because they pretty much have been there the last number of years under Gardenhire. 5 division titles under Gardenhire in his 8 years.
Ground ball to short, should be 2. Instead, it's bobbled by Hardy. They'll get 1, and that's it. Taylor made, although it was hit hard, straight at Hardy. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Jackson. Twins have Kadire, Young, and Hardy due up when we get to the 9th. Austin has been on base a couple of times tonight. He's walked and stolen a base. Ryan Perry in the Detroit bullpen. This may be Jackson's last chance to extend his hitting streak. Right now it's at a career high 11. But he hasn't had a hit tonight. A couple of walks.
Good count.
One ball, 1 strike.
Good pitch, too. Nasty pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. You're looking for that heater, trying to get out in front of it, but he's throwing 95 miles an hour and he throws that pitch.
Here's another one, and that's a strike on the inside corner. 1 and 2.
Your front door breaking ball there by Crane.
Jesse, a native Canadian, born in Toronto. Here's the 1-2. Fouled straight back. Jackson had a good rip. Tigers once again get to double digits in the hit column. They have 11 tonight and now 52 in their last 4 games. 4 straight games of 10 or more hits, actually 11 or more hits. And that's hit to third. A backhanded play by Punto to second. 1 and the double play. Nifty play by Nick Punto. 5-4-3 on the double play, and we'll go to the 9th. Seven to 2. And here's how the voting is going for our Tigers McDonald's player of the game. Verlander has 37% of the vote. Ordonez 22%. Brennan Bosch 13%. You'll see the final results. You can still vote. Final results coming up. Tigers Live post game, so stick around for that. We have a new pitcher now for the Tigers. Ryan Perry will try and close this one down.
He's been out there a few times since coming back from AAA when they shut him down with a little bit of shoulder stiffness. And he's pitched well. Opponent's batting average against Perry, 270. 20 strikeouts and 24 2/3 innings. If he continues to pitch the way he's pitched lately, that earned run average will start to inch its way down as well.
Michael Kadire is the first man to face him here in the 9th inning. And the first pitch is inside, 1-0.
For those of you that do not know, Perry pretty much two-pitch pitcher. Fastball mid-90s and a good slider. And when he gets to the proper arm slot. There it was. Nope, that's a fastball.
1-1 on Kadire.
We were talking about Weinhardt and Oliver being teammates and roommates in college. And Ryan Perry and Daniel Slayer were also teammates in college. Both #1 picks as well, same year.
U of A. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Driven to right field, and that ball is going to get down. It'll go to the wall. Kadire racing to second base, in with a double.
That's why you have to stay out of those predictable fastball counts to a good veteran player like Kadire. 2 balls, 1 strike, sitting on the fastball and clobbering. Right down the middle.
In the event that some help is needed here tonight, Valverde now starting to warm up in the Detroit bullpen. Meanwhile, Kadire has his 19th double. Here's Papa Grande. Here's Delvin Young. Ball inside. Tough night for Young, 0 for 3, including a double play ball. A little bit wide, 2-0. And here comes Rick Knapp. Rick's made a lot of trips out to the mound on this homestand.
Yes, he has.
Even though the Tigers have won most of the games. What's going on in Chicago tonight? The White Sox trying to keep pace with the Tigers, and they lead 4-0 over KC in the bottom of the 7th.
John Danks twirled the shutout yesterday against the Anaheim Angels. I think they swept the Angels in a 4-game series. And today it's Mark Burley who's throwing a shutout. They're pitching. We talked about it earlier. They got some bad news as far as Jake Peavy was concerned, but the other 4 guys in the rotation have been pitching really good baseball. Freddie Garcia is having a tremendous year for the White Sox this year.
Danks yesterday, I think, actually had a no-hitter going into the 7th in that game.
Game lasted, I think, an hour and some odd minutes. I don't remember the exact time, but it was the second quickest game this year. Galarraga was the fastest game.
Yesterday's game was 150.
Oh, I know it's quick.
Ooh, almost hit him.
Galarraga was what, 144?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that was the second fastest game thrown this year by Danks yesterday against a good offensive team. They swept the Angels. That's hard to do.
It sure is. Anywhere, at home or on the road. Line drive, base hit left field. Kadire coming to third. They're going to stop him there.
DY hitting 392 with runners in scoring position, but that one was hit so hard that Kadire was unable to score. But what a year he's had.
Perry's going to be taken out of this game.
Jim, not wasting no time here tonight.
Now with the Twins in town, he's going to go get Perry. And Valverde is going to be summoned into this game. Ryan gives up the baseball. He'll depart. And we'll take a break. 7-2 score. We'll be back. Clock starts on Fox 2 in the Motor City. Blackburn and Jeremy Bonderman will get the call in that game tomorrow.
It is not often that you equate 7 wins with a guy that has a 6 earned run average and is a starter, but Nick Blackburn is getting lots of run support this year from his teammates when he toes the rubber.
So here's Valverde now with runners at first and third and nobody out. Not a safe situation here for Valverde. Hardy is the batter.
Valverde usually starts the inning. He usually does not come in when there's traffic on the base paths. He's inherited 3 base runners this year, and he has stranded all 3. Ryan would love to see, Ryan Perry that is, would love to see him strand these 2.
2-0. J.J. Hardy is 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts and a ground out. One for 7 career with 3 punch-outs against Valverde.
Which means J.J. knows all about that devastating split-fingered fastball pitch that Valverde will feature. He actually is more efficient with his split-fingered fastball than he is with his fastball. He can throw that pitch for a strike whenever he wants to.
Dyer started the inning with a double and then was singled to third by Delvin Young. Here's the 2-1. Runner goes to second base. Swing and a miss. Throw down is not in time. It gets away from Guillen. So put him in second and third. Young gets his 4th stolen base. And there's a base hit to left. Dyer comes around to score. Hardy picks up an RBI. Now it's 7-3. That run belongs to Ryan Perry.
Take one more look at this stolen base by Delman Young. They're down by quite a few, but Ron Gardenhire is tired of watching his teams hitting the double plays. Look at Valverde hit the deck first and foremost, an aggressive slide by Delman Young, and his glove, his shoe, actually his cleats, take Carlos' glove off.
So Young now moves to third. Hardy at first base. Here's Nick Punto. Twins not going quietly tonight.
That's why the Tigers tried to score as many runs as they could early in this game. They scored 7 in the first 2 innings of this game. Not a one since then.
That'll get away from Laird. Advance the runner. Hardy moves up. Well, not quite as comfortable as he may have been entering this inning. Passed ball is charged to Gerald Laird. The 1-0. Twins had lost 5 of 7 coming into this one tonight. Fell behind 7-0 early. Trying to chip away here in the 9th. One and two on Nick Punto. Foul ground, left field line. Kelly with a sliding play. Oh, Don was off with a crack of the bat and makes a terrific play in foul ground. And he got to his feet quickly to hold the runner.
Don Kelly had Punto shaded in that direction. Kelly does not have a lot of power in that direction. Punto. And Kelly comes over and saves the run momentarily.
First out of the inning, runners hold. Here's Denard Span. Each team with 11 hits tonight. Span has 1. He singled in the first inning to start the game, and then Verlander picked him off. Here's the 1-0. One ball and 1 strike on Span. 14 hits already this season against Tigers pitching for Span. Including that one game back on the 29th of June in which he tripled 3 times. Missed it outside, 2-1. Harry started the inning, gave up a double to Kadire and a single to Delman Young, and then Valverde came on. Runner at third base, Young, is still the property of Perry. Checked it. Don't think he went. He did not. Now it's 3-1. Hudson on deck.
full count on Denard Span. If Span reaches here, barring a double play, you'd have to face Mahler. One more time at least. Crowd getting into it now. Sellout crowd of better than 42,000 fans. Three-two pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Span goes down swinging, 2 away. And here comes the crowd now. Orlando Hudson steps in. Ball 1. The Tigers are 1 out away from winning their 31st game at home this year. If they win here tonight, 31 of their 47 victories would have come at home. Good pitch on the outer edge. 1-1. Check the swing, rolls it to third. Brandon has it, and the Tigers win. In the 9th inning, Minnesota gets a run. But in front of a sellout crowd here tonight, the Tigers take game 1 of this big 3-game weekend series, 7-3. We'll have more coming up from Comerica Park in a moment.